Hey, how's it going? Please take a look at my signs. Just in case. I have no idea what the heck I might say. So, today I wanted to talk about how I'm sort of going through some changes. I mean, we all are right now, consciously and unconsciously. I'm talking about consciously. A while ago, like years ago, I was watching Ancient Aliens, and David Wilcock was talking, and he made a comment. He was talking about how much he resembles Edgar Casey and the sleeping psychic, and he does. And so he has, I guess, connections. He has connections with, like, ETs. Like, that's his vibrational match. And so he was having, he recalled the conversation he had with one, and it told him, if you're ever going to be a real minister, I think that was the word he used. It was like some sort of, like, priest of, I want to say Christ. They didn't talk about that, but like a disciple. But I guess the intelligence said to him, if you ever want to be like a minister or a priest in this, you got to clean up your act, because he is very snarky, and he will make a joke at someone else's expense, like, kind of. I mean, I don't know. My point is that he responded to that with kind of like, yeah, I'll get around to it, which I kind of feel like I'm in the same place in a way. I will restrain my tongue far more often than he does, but I also am not on, like, national television. These were early episodes. I don't even know if he still appears on the show. I stopped watching it a few years ago. I'm not sure why. I think he just got kind of repetitive and started to become more about the hosts than the stuff they were talking about. I don't know. I think it was something like that, but I just kind of lost interest after a while. And then he also, like, I think stopped appearing on it. I think that happened before I stopped watching. Anyway, so I don't know what kind of conversations he had with this entity. I have not really had any with any, not conversationally like that, and like what the encounters that I have had, either they were somebody that I know from, like, history, or it was some nameless, faceless person of what origin I don't really know. So I don't know, like, exactly what the hell the communication is as far as I'm concerned. I think that is something that is being worked out now, because I have, like, a more is this on backwards? I have more receptivity to, no, it's not. Well, to take in, like, the light worker thing seriously, because that's, for me at least, that's what I'm talking about. Like I said, I don't know what conversations he had going on. I just feel like that particular designation works for me at this particular time, because I know that by talking about the subject and the experiences I have had are encouraging to anybody that sees it, that may have experiences happening that they're just not understanding, like, what the hell, what is going on with me or the world or what I'm seeing and feeling. And the whole subject, I think, is subjective, so I think that's why there's so many people talking about it on so many different levels. But if you watch enough of it, you'll see that they're all kind of talking about the same stuff. Like, everything's kind of heading in a certain direction. So, I want to, like, straighten up myself, too, in that kind of way. Like, I'm not saying I want to be a priestess or something, but I'm saying that I can't... My mind is trying to go two ways here. I was gonna say, I can't, like, feel good about myself and be, like, I'll give you an example. Like, I don't want, like, I'm not a Democrat anymore because I, like, pretty much lost faith in them, although I will vote for them because they're, like, not Trump and not Republican, and you don't have other options, really. But, lost track. So my mind went two ways, and one way was like, I don't want to be, I remember what I was going to say. So, like, the Democratic Party wasn't doing it for me. The Republican Party has never done it for me. But they're, like, worse than ever now. So they're, like, my example of kind of what not to do. Like, they're always name-calling. They hate every race. They really don't seem to like women unless they behave in a very narrow, particular way, which, if I'm going to take a narrow path, that's not the one. The one I do want to take is the other way that I'm thinking, is that I guess above and beyond all of that, I feel like that vibrationally, which is what I want and aspire to, vibrationally is a better fit for for my projection of going forward. Like, I don't want to get, like, stuck in the mud of just constant arguing and, you know, like, firing shots online or whatever. Because, like, I was online today, as I normally am, and there's always somebody, and I've learned to look at this in a lot of different ways over the years, and I have new perspectives as of, like, yesterday on this particular thing. But it's like, I try to have my timeline be filled with, like, nice people that don't want to argue and just want to share, like, art and music and entertainment and conversation and just whatever's out there that's interesting and non-toxic and beautiful, kind of. Like, that is the timeline that I curate, that, or at least that's my intent. But since my timeline is open, or public rather, and I do want it public, otherwise, like, what is the point of being there? I don't get it. Like, I don't want to, like, cut people off of, like, commenting, because that's part of being there, and I think it's just rude to post. Like, if you post a picture or something and you don't want someone, like, commenting some kind of crazy thing over your art, I get it. Turn off the comments for that. I get it. But if you're just, like, on there, you know, wanking off, then, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I want you around, because I find that the people that I'm talking about show up in my feed, and they'll just, like, interject into, like, the conversation, which everybody's public, so that's fine. Of course, it's expected. But when they interject with something that's just gonna piss people off or start an argument, that's what I call firing shots. You can come in and have a disagreement, but if you just come in and start talking shit, basically, is what I'm saying, like, trying to start an argument, I don't want you there. I don't even want to talk to you. But I'm trying to tune my reactions or into responses as best as I can, because I'm like still sensitive to, I'm minding my own business, everybody's being nice and having a nice time, and then someone comes in and like drops a turd in the punch bowl, and it's like, I still have that initial reaction of like anger, and I want to do something according with anger, like lash out in some way. But the thing is that I don't actually want to do that. It's like a habitual reflex at this point, because I have felt on the defensive so much of my life, and now I see that there wasn't even really much point to that. But habits are hard to break, especially when you've had them for like 40 and 50 years. Like, it takes a little work to, come out of that. So that is what I'm working on. And, boy, the online is the place. Boy, if you can just stand it, because that's what it feels like sometimes. Sometimes I'm just on there, just cringing, waiting for someone to mess with me. Because sometimes you can feel it. And boy, today was one of those days. Like, I batted away so many troublesome people that... And I understand that for some people, I am the troublesome one. But I try to restrict my comments and negatory statements to people doing bad things to other people, and I don't like you. If you're doing that, I'm not going to have nice things to say about you. And that's it. That is like the only reason I'm going to get aggro with people, or if they're just messing with me. And that's another layer of it. If you're just messing with me, I want to get to the point where, fine, fire your shots, go ahead and provoke me, try to provoke me all you want. I would like to get to that place and space where none of that stuff even matters, and it's I wouldn't even be talking about it. It'd be like, whatever, over here, birds making sound, I would just tune it out. So that's another level of attunement that I need to learn and get to. But it goes so much deeper than all of that. And I guess that's what all of the practice is about for me, is that I want to be able to reach those higher levels of attunement. And what I'm learning is, some stuff I already knew about it, but what I'm learning is okay, let me try and frame this a little better. So I'm watching a lot of Bashar, and he was talking about shamans and shape-shifting, and the way he described it was not that they change, but they tune into the energy of the animal that they want to change into, and then reflect that reality atop their person. So I'm not real sure how that works. That's some kind of spiritual physics I haven't quite worked out yet. But I mean, I get it. Like a recipe, if I get it in that way. So what I am working on is learning to tune myself in that way, and I hope that the practicing online and everywhere else, because yet another layer of it is that you have to learn to maintain that higher vibration, and a general overall better attitude goes along with it. So you got to learn how to maintain that all the time, or for as long a period as possible, until it becomes second nature, you don't even know you're doing it. And that's what I would like to rise to. Yeah, today, this is why I'm bringing it up. I have my personal sort of spin on it, but there's a lot going on that's going to make us feel emotionally crazy. It may well manifest in ways that it has been in mine, where there's you'll find yourself cruising along, doing what you want to do, everything's good, and then, boo, something will dive bomb in and try to just screw up your whole program. And so what we have to do, and this is something that I keep relearning over and over for like years now. It's like, God, really, I don't get this yet. But something unpleasant, undesirable happens. The way to best deal with it is not to get frustrated, get mad that it happened. Not even the whole thing about, yeah, it was supposed to happen this way because it was planned. It's not even about that. It is just about not freaking the freak out in the moment. Like, just taking the time whenever possible, whenever you can, which I am learning to do more and more, because it takes time to learn a new habit while you're in the midst of breaking another. But I am learning. Thank God, because it's a relief to me to, like, be able to actually apply the things that I've learned. Like the breathing, that comes last. I'm still at a point where I'm having to go, look, you can do this. Calm down. You're not that person. Let them, it's like I have to have all these little discussions in my head, but eventually I get there. And so one of the things that I've been doing a lot is going ahead and typing out what I want to type after I've had a moment. In the best case scenario, after I've made myself stop and think better of it, I will go ahead and let myself write it out and edit it and change it around and do whatever I need to do and get it said to where I just, boy, I really told them. I'm being nice, but I'm being nice about it, but I'll just try my best to get it out of my system and then delete it, and that's starting to work more often than not, so I'm happy about that. And so I have like some cards. I got 2 Declarations of Mary cards that came out together, and they kind of, funnily enough, sort of match the situation. So the first one says, "Thou that wishes to harm others in any way, seen or unseen, leaves thy kingdom until thou see the reflection of thine own self within others to heal thy wounds." So that's a long way around to say, if you're hurting people, like, so that they know about it, or if you're all sneaky and you're doing something on the subversive to them, to escape notice for greater harmful impact, keep doing that, and you will leave your kingdom, by which I think means, like, whatever your goodies are that you have incoming, that flow is going to be obstructed or stopped entirely. You'll be cut off from your usual stuff. Like, your home life is going to be crap, and your job is going to, like, it's just all not going to go well. And it's going to accumulate and escalate in direct relation to what you are doing. And so sometimes that's not so immediate. Like, you can rack up a lot of bad credit for a long time before it sinks in. What you're doing, could eventually turn around and bite you back. Like, if you, do some kind of scam or something to someone, or steal from them somehow, you might get into legal trouble or some other kind of trouble where laws might not be taken into consideration, because I don't know what you're thinking that you can, like, get away with stuff with people and things that you shouldn't be messing with. I don't know. So until you understand that you are experiencing the consequences of your actions, you're not going to heal. And you also have to learn not to cause the things that make the consequences. And that's, I think, it's not really framed as all of these lessons. I'm just breaking it down. This is the way I'm understanding it. And I think it's kind of interesting that it starts out, thou that wishes to harm others. You wish to? Like, you dream about it? It's gonna do what for you? Like, it's your wish is gonna come true when you've done something to hurt someone? That is not good. It's the number 11 card, by the way, which is a master number. And here, just for old time's sake, let me read exactly what can be said about the number 11. Just a moment. I know you're saying you could just voice to text. Actually, I can't. Not on this phone. It's acting weird because I changed my text setting, so it stopped. The mic stopped working. I don't understand. So quit trying to force AI down my throat. I do not want it. Should have just gone to Joanne Angel numbers. Here we go. No, I didn't want you to do that. This phone. Oh my. I'm not gonna say, whoa, can you all just get out of here? Super ads. Did you ever see Minority Report? When Tom Cruise is on the lam and all of the ads that are just floating in the air trying to get into his eyes and engage with him. And he's like in the train and running down the platform or whatever, like batting ads. Or you have to see it. It's a pretty good movie. It's a pretty good movie now that I think about it. Anyway, so the meaning of angel number 11 is linked to karma and is all about learning to trust your intuition. It is also a number that invites us to share our skills with others while staying true and honoring our own needs in all aspects of life. I'm just going to leave it at that because that's pretty good. Like, that's enough, you know? I feel like the person that is being referenced on the card that wants to go out and start messing with people, that's going to be contrary to what you would be doing if you were concerned about your spiritual mastery or health, for that matter. Although, nothing happens for no reason. I mean, even the most crappy appearing experience is happening for a purpose. There's something to be gleaned from the experience that is of value to somebody. And then there's other people that just join in because cast members needed. Apply here. Okay, so the second card reads, Love, wisdom, and power is the song of God within thy sacred heart. When one recognizes their power, is the power of love in truth, grace, and inner wisdom. I totally lost track of where the emphasis is in this sentence. It's just one long thing. Love, wisdom, and power is the song of God within thy sacred heart. Is the song of God within thy sacred heart. Okay. Love, wisdom, and power is the song within thy sacred heart. When one there's no punctuation after this. When one recognizes their power, is the power of love in truth, grace, and inner wisdom. I feel like there's a dangle at the end of that sentence. Because really, it just starts all the words and there's nothing but a period. Okay, there might be a note. Oh, there's a couple of commas. Love, wisdom, and power is the song of God within thy sacred heart. When one recognizes their power, is the power of love and truth, grace, and inner wisdom. when one recognizes it and there's no and. It just kind of falls off the cliff there. But I get it. Bad grammar correction aside. Bad correction of the bad grammar. By the way, the grammar might not be bad. The correction might be the problem. Anyway, so I don't know why you need to be told this all the time. Actually, I shouldn't say that, because you could give a lot of the world the "they know not what they do" designation right now. So, we're not in our power a lot of times when, like, we're fighting to the point where, it's a war and there's all kinds of secrets and scheming behind the scenes and hurting people. And, even at the macro level or micro level, where it's just kind of us bouncing off of each other. For things to work, I mean, I think, like, the best way is if we all feel like we're seen, heard, and respected, and we have a lot of situations that are probably deliberately crafted for the experience of being, like, criminal and victim and captive and in prisoner or keeper. As bad as a thing might look, and even though it has to be dealt with in reality, or in the way that we are perceiving reality, like, there has to be, like, police investigation if it's something legal, and then a trial, and all of the things that go along with that. Like, maybe there's not a conviction, but it's a whole ordeal. Like, even to get to that point, there's a lot involved. So, I think when we decide that we don't need to have these hard lessons anymore that require so much out of each other, and I mean, it's not a game. It's not like pretend. These things are actually happening to us. As far as it goes, I mean, it's not so easy to just go, you know what, I'm done playing this game. I'm tired. I'm just going to walk off and go do something else. It's kind of like we're contractually obligated to be here. And even when we decide to go has been accounted for. So maybe you can go ahead and try, but you may not be successful. And just like if you got dropped into another dimension because you didn't like the one you were in, so you decided that there was one you liked better, and you figured out how to, like, just, make the decision that you're not in this bad feeling, I don't want to be here place anymore, and you want to just elevate to a different place and position. And you can do that. Like, once you get your focus in order and you learn how to, like, filter out excess stuff that's not part of what you're trying to achieve, which is attunement, like changing your vibration from the one that created the world you're unhappy with, or the dimension that you're unhappy with, to one where, a parallel one where it's almost identical, and I mean, to the point where you're not going to get it. In fact, I wondered about that, like changing your vibration and moving to a different dimension. Like, what about the you that's there? Like, this is the thing. Like, the teaching is that you exist in billions of dimensions that are similar to yours and dissimilar in varying ways. So I was like, well, if I go from the one I'm in to another, am I not displacing someone else? Well, I think what happens is that when I get my attunement right, it's going to coincide with whoever was in the place that I'm going to, the next dimension. That person that was there that I was worried about displacing has already gotten their attunement going and moved to their own other ideal or not ideal, if that's what they want, dimension. So, and they're going to be so similar that it's going to be indistinguishable. Like, it's not like I don't think a big parade happens with like television coverage and a band when the timeline jump happens. I think it's like a seamless sidestep. Like, you just sort of, I don't know how the physical mechanics of it works, but you are just, I guess your energy moves to the next dimension. Like, you're not dragging your whole physical body through the needle hole portal. Like, your energy goes. But anyway, as I understand it, when you make that switch, when you make that move, you adjust to the new dimension, and the new dimension adjusts to you as well. And it, like I said, I don't think there's a big loud parade about it. I think it's either instantaneous or it's silent sublime. Like, you just are, the change is made and you just don't even feel it or know about it because you're meshing so well with the new vibration. I think that's what I was understanding, and it makes a kind of sense. So, you know, today was like it was a very up and down day, I'll say that, and I'm sure that everybody else is experiencing these things to a degree. At least everybody else that can notice it, because not everybody is attuned to it or at the level that they are aware that there is an attunement, and that an attunement can be done. Like, they just might not be there yet in their journey, or they might even come to the same place but from a completely other perspective and like sort of discipline. Like, just think of it in a completely manner different from mine. And great. That's why other dimensions, even though